Genghis Khan's original name was Temujin. After being proclaimed the Great Khan of Mongolia, he became known as Genghis Khan. The history of Genghis Khan is described in detail in the book known as The Secret History of the Mongols. The Secret History of the Mongols consists of 12 chapters. Based on this book, the life and history of Genghis Khan are presented here in a summarized form. The first chapter of The Secret History of the Mongols begins with the heavenly origin legend that tells of the ancestry of Genghis Khan. According to this account, the heaven-born Bort Chino, the blue wolf, and his wife, Gua Maral, the beautiful doe, crossed a great sea and settled at Burkhan Khaldan mountain, near the source of the Onan River. From their descendants, generation after generation, the Mongol clans were formed. This history is portrayed in a poetic and mythological manner, describing the origins of the Mongol people. From Dobu Mergen and his wife, Alangoa, who was previously married to Horilartai Mergen, were born several sons. Among them was Borja Dai Mergen, from whose lineage Yesagai Batar was born. Yesagai Batar was a powerful and courageous warrior. While returning from a campaign in which he defeated the Tatars, he abducted Holan Yujin from the Merkits and took her as his wife. Holan Yujin was a woman of great beauty and wisdom, and she lived in happiness with Yesagai Batar. Temujin was born at Delian, Bulldog, by the Onan River. According to legend, he was born clutching a blood clot in his hand, a sign believed to foretell that he would become a great conqueror and a mighty ruler of the world. At that time, Yesagai Batar had captured a Tatar leader named Temujin Yuj. In celebration of his victory, he named his newborn son Temujin. Temujin spent his early childhood living happily with his parents. However, tragedy soon followed. When Temujin was 9 years old, according to some sources 12, Yesagai Batar traveled to arrange Temujin's engagement with Day Sechin of the Anjarat clan. On his return journey, he was poisoned by the Tatars and later died. After Yesagai's death, the Tachiad leaders Targyatai Kiriltuk and Todoan Achijin expelled his family from the clan. Holan Yujin and her children, Temujin, Kasar, Kashiun, Temuj, Achijin, and their sister, Temulin, were left to survive alone. Along the banks of the Onan River, they lived in extreme poverty, catching fish, digging roots, gathering berries, and surviving on wild plants. Holan Yujin proved to be a strong and resilient woman. She devoted herself entirely to raising and educating her children, teaching them to remain united and loyal to one another. These harsh conditions hardened Temujin's character, instilling endurance, courage, and wisdom within him. On one occasion, a dispute during a hunting expedition led Temujin to kill his half-brother Begtar. Although permitted under tribal law, this event deeply saddened Holan Yujin. Later, the Tachiads captured Temujin and enslaved him, placing a wooden collar around his neck and forcing him into hard labor. Despite this, Temujin managed to escape. He broke his collar in the river and found refuge with Sorgan Shira and his sons, Shilaun and Shimbai, who helped hide and protect him. They became his first loyal allies. Temujin then fled to Burkhan Khaldan mountain, where he prayed to heaven and earth, and vowed that the mountain would be his protector. Burkhan Khaldan later became a sacred place in Mongolian history, closely associated with Genghis Khan's legacy. Although the Tachiads searched for him for a long time, they failed to find him. Temujin eventually reunited with his mother and siblings, and continued to endure a life of hardship. This chapter vividly reflects Mongolian tribal life, the traditions of vengeance, harmony with nature, and the worship of heaven and earth. The suffering of Temujin's childhood, poverty, enslavement, escape, and friendship played a crucial role in shaping him into a future great leader. The courage of Holan Yujin, the unity of the family, the harsh natural environment, and the resilience of the Mongol people are portrayed with deep emotional power. Burkhan Khaldan stands as a symbol of salvation and sanctity, remaining forever in Mongolian history. This chapter forms the foundation of the secret history of the Mongols, telling the sorrowful yet powerful beginning of Genghis Khan's life, and marking the first step towards the unification of the tribes and the creation of a great empire. The second chapter of the secret history of the Mongols begins with the events of Temujin's youth and describes the major turning points of his life, including his marriage, the gathering of allies, his first major war, and the beginnings of friendship and betrayal. Temujin reached adulthood and entered the prime of his life. While his father, Yesugai Batar, was still alive, he had arranged Temujin's betrothal with Day Sechin of the Anjarat clan to his daughter, Bort Yujin. In fulfillment of his father's promise, Temujin traveled to Day Sechin, where he was formally engaged to Bort Yujin, and soon married her. Bort Yujin was a woman of beauty, intelligence, and courage. She presented Temujin with a coat made from black sable fur, symbolizing the strength and unity of their bond. Temujin brought Bort Yujin home, and this marriage brought him happiness. Although severe trials soon followed, Temujin renewed ties with his father's sworn friend, Togrul, also known as Wang Khan, the leader of the Kariat tribe. Because of his friendship with Yesugai Batar, Wang Khan treated Temujin like a son and offered him protection and support. At the same time, Temujin reunited with his childhood friend, Yemuka, with whom he had once sworn the oath of Anda, a bond of sworn brotherhood. They renewed their friendship and agreed to live, hunt, and gather followers together. Yemuka was a powerful and influential young man, and their alliance initially strengthened Temujin's position. Soon, however, disaster struck. Leaders of the Merkit tribe, Tokto Beki, Der Yusin, and Chiljer Bok, seeking revenge for past grievances, launched a night attack on Temujin's camp and abducted Bort Yujin. This was a devastating blow to Temujin, filling him with grief and anger. Temujin immediately sought help from Wang Khan and Yemuka. Together, they assembled a joint army and launched a major campaign against the Merkits. In this war, Temujin's leadership abilities became clearly visible for the first time. The allied forces defeated the Merkits and successfully rescued Bort Yujin. This rescue campaign was one of the most important events of Temujin's life. Through it, he gained many loyal and capable followers, men such as Borchu, known for his swift horse and sharp mind, Mukali, a brave and powerful commander, Barakula, and Shalaun, a devoted companion, proved their loyalty in this war, and later became Temujin's closest allies and generals. After the victory, Temujin shared the spoils of war fairly, rewarded merit, and demonstrated his respect for loyalty, a trait that would later define his leadership. Although Bort Yujin was rescued from the Merkit leader Chiljer Bok, she was pregnant at the time, and later gave birth to a son, Joki. Though questions later arose regarding Joki's lineage, Temujin accepted him as his own son without hesitation. This act revealed Temujin's strength of character, his endurance, and his deep loyalty to his family. After the campaign, Temujin and Yemuka grew closer once more and renewed their oath of brotherhood. They lived together, hunted, gathered warriors, and formed alliances with various tribes. However, Yemuka gradually became jealous as Temujin's reputation grew and more people began to follow him. What had once been brotherhood slowly turned into rivalry. Eventually, disputes over hunting grounds and tribal leadership led to a serious break between them. Yemuka chose to part ways and follow his own path, marking the beginning of a tragic division. During this period, Temujin continued to gather strength and recognition. He respected Wang Khan, sought his advice, and maintained their alliance. With the support of his brothers, including Kasar and Kashiun, he expanded his influence among the tribes. Bort Yujin also played a crucial role, offering wise counsel and strengthening the foundation of the family. This chapter vividly portrays Mongolian marriage customs, betrothal traditions, the oath of sworn brotherhood, military strategy, the sharing of spoils, tribal alliances, and the emergence of betrayal and rivalry. Temujin's character, brave, intelligent, loyal, yet firm and decisive, becomes increasingly clear. The rescue of Bort Yujin stands as one of the most significant moments of his life, a turning point through which he gained loyal followers and laid the foundations of future power. The renewed brotherhood with Yamuka and the sorrowful beginning of their eventual conflict is depicted with deep emotion. Joy and hardship, love and war, pure friendship and the shadow of betrayal are woven together in this chapter, marking the beginning of a new stage in Temujin's life and the gradual emergence of the future Genghis Khan.